Hi there, good afternoon, how's it going? Today is Tuesday, August 12th, 2025, currently 97 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 36 degrees Celsius. It is flippin' hot here in Northern California, the area where I'm from. So I am going to start by giving a very quick recap of the past few days. After my Hawaiian adventures, as I mentioned in my last video, at the very end, then I was catching an overnight flight from Kauai, Hawaii, back to Portland, Oregon, back on Friday. And so I had parked my Honda CR-V at my friend Sterling's house in Portland. She didn't end up appearing in a video, even though she, enjoys being in the videos, but we went to Brighton Bush Hot Springs and did a couple of other things before I flew out to Hawaii, and I parked my car at her house, flew back, landed early in the morning, a rough overnight flight. I don't like those, but just kind of worked out. And so she was gone for the weekend, so I didn't see her when I went back. Just took the MAX train down into southeast Portland, and then caught a Uber, and then I got to her place, picked up the car, started driving, and planned to stop at my friend Eric's house in Salem, both to stop and hang with them for a little bit, and also to pick up some mail, including new necklace from one of my viewers that she sent me. So thank you very much. They're nice. There's 2 more new ones as well, so they will be making appearances in coming videos. So I make the 1-hour drive south down to Salem, and I'm just sleepy as hell along the way, and so I get to Eric's house and crash, take a nap for the afternoon, and then get up later, hang with them for a little bit, and then get going, driving south in order to cover some miles getting back down here. I'd hung out with them for a few days last week as well, and stayed in a hotel. Next day, made it down here, so that is that. And so I will be in California for at least the next week or so, but I am thinking of doing some Sierra Nevada mountain adventures, and so that will be really amazing, being one of my favorite parts of the world. But getting to the subject of this video now, so I was thinking about making a video, my top 10 places in the world. I made a video a number of months ago about my top 20 countries in the world, but I was thinking of making one about my top 10 specific places. But that's going to be a bigger video, and so for today I thought that I would just talk about my least favorite part of the world. So I have been to 97 United Nations member states, plus the 3 disputed countries of Kosovo, Northern Cyprus, and Taiwan, which do not have UN member status, but for all practical purposes are separate independent countries to varying degrees. But anyways, point being, I can say, just because it kind of sounds better, I've been to 100 countries, but 97 officially. And so I've seen a fair amount of the world, and many of those countries I've been to over and over, and traveled around a lot. So I'll just tell you at the beginning here, my least favorite part of the world is the Persian Gulf, parentheses, Arabian Gulf. I just looked on Google Maps a little while ago to confirm what it said, and that's what it said. Persian Gulf, parentheses, Arabian Gulf. So the countries on the south and west side of the Gulf call it the Arabian Gulf. Iran calls it the Persian Gulf. Persia refers to Iran. So here you go, a disc golf basket. This is the course where I learned to play disc golf 30 years ago. I think that it was in 1995 when I was living at my mom's house for a semester while attending Mendocino Community College, which is just outside of town here. And my stepdad, Ken, introduced me to playing disc golf. A great course here, too. And so I'm just going to refer to it now as the Persian Gulf, which is the historical name for it. So why is the Persian Gulf area my least favorite part of the world? Now, I haven't been to Iran, and Iran looks absolutely incredible. I don't know that along the Persian Gulf there is anything especially nice to see there. But Iran in general, there is just so much to see there, from the cities to mountains, little towns, various natural features that look really remarkable. And so I'm not including Iran in this. I'm including the places that I have been so far, which includes Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, which includes Dubai and Abu Dhabi, both of which I have been to. And then in Saudi Arabia, I have been to Riyadh, the capital, and Jeddah, and then rented a car for a day and explored a little bit outside of Jeddah. And then I've been to, those little Gulf states. It's really just the cities of Kuwait City, Bahrain, and Qatar. A little bit more to see in the desert outside of the cities, but not very much. Mostly just flat desert. Now, there do seem to be some places in Saudi Arabia outside of the main cities that look quite interesting, which I haven't been to yet. And so I would give Saudi Arabia another chance for those adventures, which will likely involve quite a lot of driving. But as for the rest, well, there's one other place that I would go back to just to see more, and that is Qatar. But basically, I am thinking of the cities, the main cities on the Persian Gulf there, and then, including the cities of Saudi Arabia there, which aren't anywhere near the Persian Gulf, but Saudi Arabia does border the Gulf there. And so I just find these cities to be devoid of anything particularly interesting as a traveler. I just find them to be very boring, stale. I mean, the streets are practically empty of people other than in their cars. You don't get the bustling, busy marketplace experience. And all of those cities are built in a very similar style of massive skyscrapers. It makes for an impressive looking image of the skyline of the cities, but then you get there down on the ground and it's these big wide streets that can be almost impossible to cross, lots of traffic, massive distances, and then there just isn't really anything that I want to do there. You can go in malls, you can go to some restaurants. Alcohol is banned for the most part, so that's another drawback. I just find them to be kind of soulless and not unique in any way. You could drop me in any one of those cities and not tell me which one it is, and unless you had a view of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai or some particular landmark, just drop you in a typical neighborhood and you couldn't distinguish it from any of the other cities. They're all built exactly the same and just super boring. Now, they aren't bad places to live necessarily, to raise a family. They are safe, they're clean, they're hassle-free. There's no hustling scams or anything really to worry about. Although in, I think it was Kuwait City, then I got questioned for filming. So I was filming near one of the palaces, something like that. And I made a point of not filming one place that I thought could be a problem, but then I was filming something else, and so a security guard waved me over. And you know, you don't want to start running at that point and avoid them, because then that's a bigger problem. And so I walk over to him, and I think that he did speak English, and so he asked me what I'm filming for, etc. A few questions, and then lets me go. But despite the outcome of that, that is still a very harrowing experience in the moment when you are being questioned by an authority and don't know yet what the outcome is going to be. They could say, okay, well, I want you to talk to my superior. And then they take you into some office, and for some reason they're kind of suspicious of you and start questioning you more. And so that is always, you know, a kind of traumatic experience that basically makes you want to leave. And that's how I felt after that happened. You know, I just hope that I get out of here without any more hassle. And so there's one more drawback. But just overall, then, I don't find them to be worth going back to. I'm happy that I went to all those places just to see them, to check them off the list, add another country to my list, and to get a little taste of, you know, what life is like there. I'm not going to say don't ever go there, but you know, make a 2-night, maybe 3-night stop in one of those cities, the you know, little Qatar, Bahrain, or Kuwait City, just to experience them. Or if you're, you know, a world traveler and just want to add some more countries, then make stops at all of them, but make it quick. I know that a lot of people are fans of Dubai. It has a really, you know, international reputation now as a digital nomad destination, and very swanky, high class, and that is certainly the case. I would put it in second place, in my opinion, if I were to rank those cities, because there is certainly things to do there. Go up the Burj Khalifa, tallest building in the world. Go to the mall near there. Go to the beach, and various other, you know, indoor things. There isn't really much of anything to do outside. There is the Gold Souk, which was very kind of sterile, but, you know, worth a stop for something to do. But number one, I would say, as I mentioned, is Qatar. I thought that it was an amazing city and a bit more interesting than the other ones. I would gladly stop there for 2-3 nights on the way to somewhere else and just explore it a little bit further. But for the most part, then, of all the places to go in the world, I have no desire to go back to that part of the world, even though the culture is certainly fine, although that is another issue, which is that most of the people you're going to interact with aren't even going to be the local Saudis or Emiratis, Qataris, Kuwaitis, Bahrainis, because the population of all those countries is the locals who are, you know, from there for generations, are a minority, and they have all these workers from South Asia in particular, Indians, Pakistanis, lots of Bangladeshis, who are there working at the restaurants in the malls, working in the other restaurants you'll come across, the hotel front desk workers, etc. The locals get a paycheck from oil revenue, and as I understand it, they just don't have to work at all. Maybe it isn't the case with all of those countries, but they don't do the regular jobs anyways. If they are working, then it's more likely in some sort of business, professional sort of work. And so you aren't likely to come into contact with them. So that's just one more thing that makes the experience there kind of watered down, because you don't even really get much of an experience with local culture. So it's nothing personal against the people or anything. They're doing a good job for their people, making their cities very safe and clean and organized and orderly and easy to live in. There are places in the world that are a lot more hassle to travel in and have bigger problems and are less safe, but yet are a lot more interesting to visit. And so there are places that I would go back to, and despite the conditions not being as good, it's just a lot more interesting as a traveler to experience some of the rougher countries around the world. So there you go. That is it for this video. But I am almost at the viewpoint of the town here at the City View Trail. So let's see the view of Ukiah. So I mentioned this tons of times in previous videos, but for those who might not have seen those videos, then this is the town of Ukiah, where my mom and stepdad live in Mendocino County. I was raised in the smaller town of Willits, which is about a 20-minute drive north up that way. But my mom has lived here for more than 3 decades now, and so I've been visiting here for a very long time and don't really spend much time in the town of Willits, where I grew up. Although I have spent a little bit of time there. So my friend Yeshua, who has been in a few videos now in the past year or so, was living in Willits, but now he's actually in Ukiah, and I just remembered I need to give him a call and see if he's around here. The last time I saw him was on Kauai when I was there last winter, so I'm not sure where he is. Haven't corresponded with him in a bit. But anyways, there you go. Ukiah, nice valley. This is wine country. Pretty area. It's about an hour over to the coast, about 2 hours down to San Francisco, a few hours to the Sierra Nevada mountains and all the ski resorts out there. And so I will likely be making that drive inland across California within a few days. So that's all for now. Have a good one.